What sort of job creation program would you support for HIV positive folks and disabled people with HIV and AIDS in your district?
And my current job as director of the Human Rights Commission, we deal with this every day. We're the enforcement agency for non-discrimination against people with HIV/AIDS. Right now, we are implementing, I think the city needs to implement citywide, a training program for employers to understand that people with HIV/AIDS, and particularly the disabled community, can be and are productive workers. It's a huge population that's ignored. It's a huge population that's discriminated against, and we need to target specific programs to help these people. Co-employment is an opportunity. We did a Good Vibrations where we had brought people in, sometimes 2 and 3 and 4 people for one job, such that each worked part of that job, made a portion of the income, and were never disallowed government benefits.
So the top 10 nonprofits that serve District 10 have received over $115 million annually, and yet we still suffer from a 40% unemployment rate. Residents in District 10 are tired of training programs. They want jobs. I want to systematically change our workforce development model and have it to be on-the-job training model. Also, collaboration. I would love to see us in the city work closer with City College on their workforce development model where you actually provide credits. And so you're not just having a job, because we have too many people just talking about jobs. We need to create careers in San Francisco that allow for upward mobility here in San Francisco. I've worked on that in City College where we worked with Solar City. They will actually have units, and then they will actually be able to continue and further their education and make change within their own families and make change within their own communities. That is the model of on-the-job training, paid internships that I'm interested in. It's about jobs. It's about making sure that folks are back to work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And on NPR this morning, there was a story about how buying units doesn't make sense for low-income people, that rental housing makes sense for low-income people and other communities more than home ownership does. Would you be in favor of requiring that a certain percentage of new unit construction is rental, permanent rental?
There's a pretty large rental market out there now. I think some of the and I'm gonna kind of shift this to the low income and affordable housing issue. Is I think the requirements to get into those buildings are skewed. I think it's wrong. I think that needs to be changed. If you look at the overall inventory of what's available in the BMR market here in San Francisco, there's probably about 17 to 18% that are available. The reason why is because a lot of people can't qualify to get in that. So I think the qualifications have got to be changed, and I think that is the crux of the problem. I don't think the inventory is necessarily the problem here in San Francisco. So with that said, no, I probably would not support a private development entity requiring them to do a rental percentage in any form.
These programs need to be brought back and examined.
So the Board of Supervisors is looking at passing an alcohol sales tax that would bring in an estimated $15 million into services for people who need services for alcohol abuse. Do you support that tax?
I don't support that measure because I think right now that's going to have even though it's technically imposed on, I think it's the producers or distributors, it's really going to end up being imposed on a lot of small businesses, neighborhood bars, restaurants in our hospitality industry that produce a lot of jobs and vibrancy for the city, and I don't think this is the right way to proceed. I think that there are other revenue measures that are better focused, such as the property transfer tax for the very high-end properties, 5-10 million and more, which is being proposed, or the local vehicle license fee.
I have some concerns about the alcohol tax. I think it would be nice to sort of left out smaller, the smaller brew pubs and that kind of thing. But I think in general, I am in favor of anything that we can do to get more revenue into the city right now. We just need to bring some business sensibility, or we need to be really careful about the public funds we're using. And every progressive in this room believes that we need to look at every single department and make sure that every dollar is well spent. But the reality is that for 2 years now, we've been cutting like crazy. And the city has thousands fewer jobs, and all of these nonprofits have been hit. And the status quo before the recession was not okay. So we need more revenue for our public sector, and I want to look for ways to do that.
campus, and I'm going to continue to make sure that we have those services that are coming.
Yes, we have so many qualified people up at this table. These panelists have prepared themselves so well. Thank you, all panelists. Our official candidates that returned the questionnaire and came up today, I just appreciate your time so much.